Greetings. This is Lynn August, September 2025, here to introduce you to monatomics and liquid light. Monatomics were rediscovered about 50 years ago and promise to revolutionize healthcare. Atomics refers to the use of a single atom. Monatomics are uncombined atoms. Liquid light is a solution of charged monatomics. Monatomics are chemically inert. It is safe to digest them. In the example of gold, monatomic gold is a white powder, whereas the metal gold is a shiny gold metal. Traces of monatomics are found in our brain, nervous tissues, and muscles, in seawater, soil, vegetables, herbs, volcanic rock, and ores. Here is the story of their rediscovery in the early 70s. Why I say rediscovery will become apparent shortly. An agricultural chemist found a white powder. He could not analyze it with the instruments available at that time. Upon searching the literature, he found an analytical procedure used in Russia. He worked with an analyst there and discovered the powder contained monatomics of gold, silver, platinum, iridium, rhodium, and other elements. The monatomic elements he found came from volcanic rock, created from their metals by fire, the extreme heat of volcanoes. Only certain metals can become monatomics. Here, the highlighted elements are the ones that become monatomic. To the right of the 8 highlighted elements, we have gold, Au, and silver, Ag. ORMe stands for orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. It's simple. The orbits of the electrons around the nucleus have been changed. Imagine what it would be like if the orbits of the planets circling around the sun, along with planet Earth, what if their orbits were changed? There's not even a word for how disorienting that would be. And the same applies to an atom where the electron orbits are rearranged. Besides gold and silver, the other 6 elements here are called the platinum group. Pt is platinum. Platinum group metals occur together in ores. The Spanish word for platinum is platinia, which means little silver. Ores are mined minerals from which these metals can be extracted. Here is an illustration of the difference between a single atom, a charged monatomic, versus metal, many atoms. Besides the heat and the fire of volcanoes that turn certain metals into monatomics, a single extreme volt of lightning that strikes a metal can turn it into a monatomic. Liquid light is created in the laboratory by exposing 2 metals of the platinum group to the extreme volts of lightning. I have said monatomics have been rediscovered. Rediscovered because monatomics appear in all recorded time. From the Egyptian Book of the Dead, long before Moses, in Exodus, in the Bible, then in the Vedas, and later in Buddhist and Sanskrit texts. In the Islamic world, in China, in Taoism and Taoism, in medieval Europe, During the Renaissance and in 1720, when the distinction between monatomics and alchemy was made, and then most recently in the 1970s. Overall, they were used particularly for purification and as a panacea, and also for higher consciousness as well as immortality. Monatomics are superconductive. They change our bodies at the cellular level. They create a marked increase in the flow of photons throughout our organs, muscles, tissues, and even our brain and nervous system. Charged monatomic elements in water is, in a sense, liquid light itself. Our liquid light is charged monatomics in water. Photons are massless particles. They are the smallest possible particle of electromagnetic energy, and therefore the smallest possible particle of light. Photons encode information. Information is encoded in their wavelength, the direction of their spin, and their spiral staircase pattern of rotation. Fiber optics has proven that light can carry 1,000 times more and pure information than electricity. Our cells are primarily run by photons. In mitochondria, the photons accelerate the electrons. The acceleration of electrons generates light, more photons. The photons actually carry information that results in the formation of ATP, our body's currency. There are up to 5,000 mitochondria in each of our 37 trillion cells. Charged monatomics promote photosynthesis. The dissociation of water is the very first reaction of light and requires tremendous energy. This has been true since the beginning of time. The dissociation provides the oxygen and energy cells need to drive each one of the reactions that make up the biochemical logic of life. Photosynthesis takes energy directly from water. Dissociation of water can provide 99% of the energy our bodies need, with only a very small amount, 1%, from food. Dissociation of water is powered by photons from sunlight, and accelerated by ingested charged monatomics. Many things interfere with the dissociation of water: pollutants, pesticides, medications, ultra-processed food, plastics, alcohol, iron, extreme temperatures, contraceptives, stress, and old age. The monatomics from liquid light are essentially essential. The majority of common illnesses begins with a decrease in the dissociation of water. There is irrefutable proof that humans photosynthesize. Oxygen in our body is almost 5 times greater than oxygen in air. Here is our understanding of photosynthesis that we learned in school. Plants use carbon dioxide and release oxygen. People, on the other hand, take oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Plants turn the carbon dioxide along with water into oxygen and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates for food, their food and our food. And it might come as a complete surprise that we also photosynthesize. We don't have chloroplasts, which plants use for photosynthesis, but we have melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives our hair color, eyes color, and our skin color. Of particular significance is that photosynthesis in humans is 1, reversible, and 2, generates electrons. Chloroplasts can only dissociate water, but it cannot reform water. Thus, plants die as soon as the sun goes down, as summer transitions into fall. However, we reverse this equation. We don't die every season. We die when photosynthesis is no longer possible. Also notable, human melanin generates electrons. I mentioned in our previous podcast called Light H+, that mitochondria need 2 things to generate energy. They need hydrogen and they need electrons. Light H+ provides the hydrogen. H+ is the battery that runs the mitochondria, whereas the movement of electrons, provided by photosynthesis, is the motor that the H+ battery is running. Photons accelerate the movement of electrons. The monatomics of liquid light create energy at the cell level, akin to light energy. They increase the charge on the cell membrane, enhancing every function within cells, and increase the flow of photons everywhere, in muscles, the nervous system, and organs. As a result, it can decrease aches and pains, increase physical stamina, mental clarity, focus, and digestion. That is, both assimilation of nutrients and elimination of wastes. Matter is a low frequency of light. Cells are operated by light quanta. We are light quantum fields. Our aura is our light quantum field. Studies have been done on liquid light in China. The FDA in US did a cursory study, administered some monatomics, and saw no difference within 24 to 48 hours, so they were declared inert. Unfortunately, the studies in China are not published. The studies are controlled by the military and were orally given to the chemist that I've worked with for 30 years, and he is the one who created liquid light for us. Here are some of the benefits found when monatomics were studied in China: reducing blood pressure, eliminating arthritic pain, improving digestion, and allowing daily bowel movements, turning restless sleep into restful sleep, increasing oxygen, alkalizing the body, and alleviating depression, irritability, and memory loss, along with bronchial problems, circulation problems, and acid stomach. In conclusion, the agricultural chemist who discovered monatomics mentioned earlier analyzed metals in brain tissues taken from a pig and a cow. Over 5% of the brain tissue of dry matter weight was 2 monatomic elements, rhodium and iridium. He wrote, quote, "The elements are flowing the light of life in your body and produce the aura around our bodies," end quote. Iridium and rhodium are the 2 monatomic elements in liquid light, charged monatomic elements, a charge that dissipates gradually over time. Liquid light comes in a dropper bottle that you can order online. 8 drops twice daily is the recommended dose. There is no benefit from taking more. The bottle will last slightly more than a month at the recommended dose. Physicians have observed additional benefits from taking liquid light when it is added to a glass of reconstituted light H+. I will discuss why this occurs in our next podcast. I suspect the explanation will surprise you at least as much as learning that humans photosynthesize just like plants. Please let us know your questions and your results from taking liquid light alone or with light H+. We'd be happy to hear from you. service@healthequations.com. Thank you for your interest in health equations, creating health according to nature.